anything worse than the last.
So we're going to just have Scott's going to give a little talk and kind of tell us a story about how this all came about. And then we're going to have Sean from Zero Prostate Cancer that's going to say a few words. And then I'll talk a little bit of logistics about how you can help. So let's turn it over to Scott and then just start. So it can be really loud.
I can be loud. That's the only tone I got. Kind of like Tom Cruise and Top Gun. That's the only look I got. Just I want to welcome you here and thank everybody for coming to this kickoff. Special thanks to my very good friends Bobby and Mike for hosting us here. Mike has been a lifelong friend, and I'm grateful for his ongoing friendship and support. Thanks, Mike.
You bet.
Also, thanks to those that traveled from near and far, including my brother Randy and his family.
Yay!
Thank you, guys. Randy has been very supportive to me all the way through this journey in many, many ways, and I am thankful. And finally, my mom and Katie, who has been a dynamo for this whole thing. I don't have time to thank you all, but I'm grateful to you all that you're here. So, on to my story on why we are all here today. In 23 days, we are embarking on a year-long journey to raise awareness and fund for prostate cancer and schizophrenia. I intend to cycle over 11,000 miles, approximately 300 miles with 2 days off a week, and the only trips home to continue my cancer treatment and to attend Katie's daughter's wedding. Katie will be my SAG support in the truck pulling the camper, which we will stay in each night. And so how did this 11,000 mile cycle journey around all the exterior United States come about? It's a combination of a lifelong dream to cycle around the country with circumstances that led me to want to make a difference supporting prostate cancer and schizophrenia causes. Stage 4 prostate cancer. Katie and I married in the late fall of 2017, and being the persistent person that she is,
It's nicer than saying nay. Thank you.
she pestered me about having a physical because at the age of 53, that was a thing to do. Thought she could. I felt great, was physically active with the history being in sports, weight training, playing hockey, and I felt great. Well, I didn't really feel the need to see the doctor. I did so anyway. Mainly I went, as I knew if I didn't, Katie would keep pestering me. So I went and got my physical. One of the tests they took was a PSA test. I had never had my PSA tested before, and I didn't even know what it was. So it was all new to me. I was quite surprised when the doctor called and informed me my PSA was elevated. PSA is prostate-specific antigen. Normal is 0 to 4. Mine was over 13. He recommended seeing a urologist, and my daughter Jenna was a nurse practitioner in urology, so I arranged to see the doctor she worked for, Dr. Faya. When I saw him, he kindly educated me that most men that get prostate cancer don't get the aggressive kind, and it's usually very treatable. But some young men get an aggressive version. Katie and I were both rather stunned because we were not expecting to hear the cancer word. I felt great, newly married. I found it to be utterly impossible to think I had cancer. Dr. Faya recommended a biopsy of the prostate that confirmed that I had aggressive prostate cancer. I chose a radical prostatectomy done in March of 2018 with the hopes that it would be a cure. Unfortunately, my PSA never went to undetectable, which meant that the cancer had escaped the prostate. We went to UCLA for a clinical trial PET scan, not yet available at Mayo. They discovered the cancer in a lymph node. Suddenly, my cancer was stage 4. My reaction to the cancer diagnosis was kind of the catchy country song, Tim McGraw, "Live Like You're Dying," right? The bull named Fu Manchu, go fishing with your dad and stuff. So just live like you're dying. So I decided to go for my dreams. I decided to go for my dream job, which is being a postmaster in a small town up north. And I put in and got the postmaster job in Park Rapids. And I'd only been the postmaster for a short time. And we had only been in our new home for 2 weeks when it was time to leave right after Christmas for the next cancer adventure. Dealing with the cancerous lymph node and all the cancer seen and unseen. The 7 weeks of daily radiation of my pelvis and stomach at Mayo, supervised by Dr. Stish. I was also on Lupron, the hormone therapy that takes away testosterone, as testosterone feeds prostate cancer, simultaneously for 6 months. This temporarily stalled the cancer. In 2020, 2021, during COVID, that fun time that we all went through, my PSA began rapidly doubling each month. That's when the PET scans found multiple bone and lymph node metastasis. My treatment was supervised by Dr. Kwan at Mayo. But I also had chemo at Minnesota Oncology, so I could continue to work and drive back and forth between my home and Minnesota Oncology in Maplewood. The oncologist at Minnesota Oncology told me that studies were showing that I could have a 250% survival benefit if I exercised 60 minutes a day, 6 days a week. And my mindset when I heard that was that I was absolutely going to get that 250%. I was already active, biking with Katie when she did her Ironman training, and running some. I thought this is a doable goal and something I could actually do that was in my control, as much of cancer is out of our control. I took to biking, running, and continuing the strength training, but now I did it to improve my survival. I admit there were times when I felt pretty ill, and it was really hard to climb onto that bike. But each time that I did exercise, I felt great, and I was happy that I did it. I was also put back on Lupron, which I had throughout chemo, and I'm on to this day. Because Lupron takes away testosterone, it affects many areas of your life, including your energy level, making you fatigued, and it has a negative impact on bone density. So the exercise I do helps that too. Benny's story. A few months into chemo treatments, I got the phone call that no parent ever wants to get, that my son Benny had died of suicide. It was only after his death that we learned that he had been diagnosed with schizophrenia and had gone off his meds. We found out after his death that he had gone off his meds due to the distasteful side effects of the meds. Turning internally, I spent much time during those last weeks of chemo thinking and praying. It was during that time that I decided I wanted to do something special with my life to make a difference. I wanted to honor not just the life I've been given, but Benny's as well. In talking with Katie, we discussed how I could follow one of my dreams of cycling around all the exterior states while also raising awareness and funds for prostate cancer and schizophrenia. Men don't talk about prostate cancer and side effects. Similarly, they don't talk about schizophrenia. The medications for both diseases have similar side effects that affects a man's relational life. My goal is to talk about it, and through talking, raise awareness. I want to encourage young men in their 50s, emphasis on young men, to talk to their doctor about getting their PSA tested and doing their digital exam as well. I also want to raise funds to find better treatments than are currently available today. Thank you for listening and being here today. I will turn it over to Sean from Zero Prostate Cancer. We are very excited to partner with. And then to Katie to talk logistics and how you can support our efforts. When Sean and Katie are done, I'm happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Sean Supers, Zero Prostate Cancer's Senior Director of Donor Relations. We are based in the Washington, D.C. area so that we can visit Capitol Hill and advocate for patients like Scott and many others. And it's my pleasure to be here today. Thank you guys for including me in this wonderful friends and family gathering. It's been really terrific. I wish that I could say that Scott's story is not one that I hear, unfortunately, all too often within the organization. A lot of times people will pay attention to their health when they're in pain. And as Scott shared, prostate cancer is sometimes known in the community as the silent killer because there are no symptoms of prostate cancer when it's in its early stages. So men think, oh, I'm gonna know because I'll have urinary flow troubles or I'll have pain somewhere and then I'll go and get it taken care of. This bike ride that you're doing, the awareness raising that you're doing, sharing your story so transparently and vulnerably is the #1 line of defense in prostate cancer. So I wanna call out some of the men here in the room. How many of you know your PSA score right now? All right, I'm impressed. Usually when I ask that question in a group of people, I'll get one hand maybe or two hands, but it was nice to see others there. So as Scott was sharing, you're getting your prostate-specific antigen test when your blood test, right? So I encourage you to talk to your doctor, and you do need to talk to your doctor about the PSA test. Because the government has this little task force called the United States Preventative Services Task Force. It's a committee that meets every 5 years that reviews all different disease states and makes recommendations based on what they know about the disease state to the public about how they should screen or treat it. Prostate cancer has a C rating right now, which means talk to your doctor and have a conversation about your risks. So I want to tell everybody here today, not only would I encourage you to do this at the age of 50 and above, but if you happen to be from a family that has prostate, ovarian, or breast cancer, you actually should start talking to your doctor a little bit earlier than that. That puts you in a high-risk category for what are known as the hormonal cancers. So in Scott's case, his daughter is more highly susceptible to breast cancer, and his sons will be more susceptible to prostate cancer as well and should be very much on high alert. So I share that with everybody here today in the hopes that you'll get a test and maybe it'll save another life here, because prostate cancer is nearly 100% treatable, but only if it's caught in those silent stages of that first or second stage. The other thing that Scott and Katie are doing with the fundraising, and Katie, what's y'all's fundraising goal?
$500,000.
$500,000.
And that's for schizophrenia
Wow.
and prostate cancer. But
Wow.
it's over a year, so I thought that's reasonable.
I mean, $11,000, right? This is a wildly ambitious goal, and frankly, fundraising at the level that usually takes mass teams and corporations to work together. So I really applaud this, and the resources, those financial resources are going to go to 4 different areas here at Zero Prostate Cancer. Here's how we serve the community. First, it's that education and awareness raising. That's the very first line of defense. And so we need to amplify the message. We need to, frankly, make prostate cancer as acceptable to talk about in society as we are with breast cancer. And so I think, again, your sharing your story is going to be helping with that. So we're working hard to educate and to raise awareness. The second pillar of activity that we do within the organization is advocacy. So as I just shared with the United States Preventive Services Task Force, we need to sway them. We need to convince them that they need to change their rating to an A or a B rating so that men don't have to pay a copay to get a prostate cancer screening. Women don't have to pay copays for mammogram screenings, right? We need the equivalent for men. It's no coincidence that that recommendation coincides directly with the fact that prostate cancer is the only cancer in our country whose morbidity rate continues to climb. So we definitely need to work with our government representatives and advocate for them to change the laws, to break down the barriers to screenings and to care, and to frankly be better stewards of the research and the advancement of research within our country. Our numbers for our veterans, how many veterans here in the room? Any vets? No? Wow, what are the odds of that? Okay. Well, I'm sure you guys all appreciate the veterans who do serve and how they help. The one in 5 veterans is gonna be affected by prostate cancer. So our servicemen are highly impacted by this disease as well. So here at Zero, we do a lot of advocacy work, and you'll see, if you haven't already signed up for advocacy alerts, please go to zerocancer.org and do that. You can just, with a few clicks, send emails to your representatives here in Minnesota and ask them to support prostate cancer research funding and to break down barriers to care. So that's another critical area of service that Zero does. The third pillar of activity within the organization is health equity. We are working hard with the African American community that is disproportionately affected by prostate cancer. They are at a higher risk for it. They also have higher morbidity, 2 times higher morbidity rates than Caucasian men do. And so we're working very hard with organizations within that community to raise awareness, to educate, and to break down those barriers to screening and care that are just not as easily acceptable in some of the communities in our country as they are in others. And so we need to work hard at that. The fourth pillar of activity that we do at Zero is the part that I am frankly the most proud of. And it's because I talk every day with the patients and the families who are helped through our direct patient support programs. So we do have, our pinnacle program is called 0360. It's a patient navigator program where patients can turn to us for assistance. About 60% of our cases are coming to us for financial assistance. We all know we're living in a tighter and tighter economy these days, and that the cost of care keeps going up. And so where are we filling the gap there? And so we're able to help men achieve financial assistance, make sure that they can take care of their families and keep food on the table and the electricity on while they're also getting treatment for their prostate cancer. We also have support programs like knowing your insurance rights, right? So this is an area, I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but sometimes your insurance company, knowing your rights, getting things approved can be just as big of a headache as fighting the cancer itself. And we'd rather that patients focus on their health instead of worrying about paperwork and administrative things like that. So our caseworkers at 0360 can be advocates and can assist patients with insurance navigation as well. There's also the mental and emotional side of the fight of prostate cancer outside the financial needs and the treatment needs. Being in the fight mentally for as many years as you guys have is difficult. And it takes a whole community, an awesome community of friends and family to support Katie and Scott through a journey like this. And there are some who don't have the love of friends and family, and so they need some resources like support group leaders to assist them, or even a one-on-one mentor to assist them. A lot of times gentlemen prefer to talk one-on-one, being that, you know, it's a very vulnerable conversation to be having with folks. So we have programs, support groups that meet locally. We have a mentor program where mentors are paired up one-on-one with others. And we even have support groups for caregivers because we know that they're also in their own mental and emotional battle with the disease. So when you guys open your wallets and support Katie and Scott in their initiatives and in their goals, I want you to know that your donations are being put to great use in the community in those 4 different areas of education and awareness, patient support, advocacy, and health equity. And I'm also very proud to let you know that 85 cents of every dollar that's donated to the organization goes directly to our programs. 15% of every dollar is towards administrative expenses. And that's a pretty good rating. Normally, we're looking for an organization that gives 65 cents or more of their dollar donated, and so we're pretty proud to make sure that we're very good stewards of your resources and that we're doing the most that we can possible there. So I want to thank all of you guys again for welcoming me here and for helping Scott and Katie share this important story. I invite you all to walk away today and go talk to another man in your life and ask him, like, did you know this? Did you know that you don't know if you got prostate cancer or not because there's no pain until it's too late? And see if maybe we can help save another life and educate just one by one within the Minneapolis community here. So if you'd like, I've got time here to spend before I have to head back to the airport. I'd love to chat with you all. I've got business cards on me if you want to get connected with me and keep in touch a little bit later. And I just want to give another big round of applause to Scott and Katie for this.
Oh, I will. You're reminding me, that's a unique one. I just wanted to reiterate the thank you. Scott did a good job of thanking everybody. But Bobby and Mike opening up your own home, we really, really appreciate it so very, very much. And just because of my Greek background, remember there is drink over there, food over there. Be sure to help yourselves and enjoy it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about logistics. This has been 2 years of planning to get to this point. Scott spent about over 300 hours planning the route, turn by turn directions. Zero has been terrific to work with. We liked that we interviewed different nonprofits when we were choosing who to work with. We chose them because they had the focus of not just the fundraising, but the awareness. Not everybody along the way is going to be able to donate. We want to stress the awareness as much. With that regard, this is what Scott was telling me to remind you all of. We would like the men here today to take that pledge to follow your PSA and to sign this. This is going to come with us. It's going to be on the side of the camper everywhere that we go, all the speeches that we're doing. And when we come back, we'll have a country full of signatures from all the states we've gone through. How many states, Scott? 33?
33.
33 states that we're going through. So we're very, very excited about that. I also want to tell you how proud I am of Scott, not because of the mileage that he's about to go through and the training that he's done, but I am very honored to be married to a man that has, through all of these challenges, continued to react in an extraordinarily inspirational way. He truly has had a positive attitude all the way through, and he looks at things as, maybe I can't control what's happening to me, but I can control how I respond to it. So this is an opportunity for you today too, to take that message on to other people. Not just in getting their PSA tested, but all of those that are facing cancer or other kinds of challenges. Finally, what else can you do besides the awareness, obviously, is help us with the fundraising. Randy, can I announce what Scott just told me?
That's fine.
I am blown away and emotional to announce that Randy has agreed to be a $100,000 match to get us rolling.
Man.
Fundraising for over a year. There are a multitude of different ways that you can fundraise. One thing that I learned from all my team and training friends are, you don't reach a goal like what we have without having a team. All of you being here today, you're part of the team. We have people that have already agreed to do different kinds of fundraising projects for us in this coming year. Julie, who's here today, has agreed to do the March Madness squares and donate that to the cause. Rachel Arnson, that you guys know, is going to do her summer stained glassing and also have all of those donations and do it to the cause. Steve and Helen Gunther, who you guys may know from swimming, they have their open water swim. They've agreed to donate that to the cause. So while maybe you can't write the big $100,000 check, there are things that you can do as a team. One of the most exciting things that we're doing as a team is the virtual bike rides. You have an opportunity to get a group together, post it on your Facebook, and see if you can get some pledges and say, I'm biking with Scott today virtually. You'll be able to track where we are through the country and where we're going, and you can do a virtual bike ride. I'm excited that Zero Prostate Cancer has contacted Peloton, and we're looking for an opportunity to do a link with Peloton so that you can even ride your Peloton. Some people are actually going to come out and join Scott and be on the road joining Scott out there. Hopefully maybe through Texas, but most people want to come to the fun areas, but we'll see. So there's a multitude of different ways that you can do it. There are links on the website. You can also write a check. Either way works just fine. We are completely self-supporting. I want to make sure you'll be aware of that. No money is going toward us. It's going to the two nonprofits. So if you have any questions for Scott, I'm going to welcome him back up to answer any of those questions. And otherwise, if you have questions for me about logistics, happy to answer those too.